This is a fan-made story about a UNSC defense team on the verge of defeat, created by Cookie Monster. Hope you enjoy.
We got the call early that morning. Reinforce a high-priority location. No names, no specifics, just that if the Covenant took it, we'd lose more than just the ground beneath our feet. Command said it was critical to hold, a turning point. I'd heard that before, but this time it felt different. The squad rushed as we geared up, checking rifles, loading mags, routine stuff, but you could feel the tension. Pelicans lined up across the platform, engines humming, packed with soldiers, warthogs, and all the ammo they could cram in. It looked like we had everything we needed. I sat there, helmet in my lap, rifle beside me, staring out at the horizon. The sky was still clear, but we all knew that wouldn't last long. No matter how many times I'd done this, that tight feeling in my chest never went away. The calm before hell broke loose. Then the order came over the comms and it was go time. We piled into the Pelicans, the engines turning into a roar as we lifted off. The outpost we were heading for was already taking fire, and we knew the Covenant had been there for days. Our mission was simple: reinforce and hold until the next wave of reinforcements arrived. But the moment we hit the ground, it was clear. This wasn't going to be simple at all. The Covenant came down harder than expected. Waves of them. We were pinned, surrounded. Bodies dropped left and right, and I knew what was coming. We were barely able to fight off the first wave before another came charging in. God, it felt like it would never end. Plasma fire, explosions, screams, all of it blending together in a nightmare that wouldn't stop. When it finally did, I stood there, covered in dirt and blood, trying to catch my breath. I looked around at what was left of us. It wasn't much. We'd lost over 70% of our forces. Most of the guys who were still standing were either injured or too exhausted to fight anymore. Some were out of ammo. Others clutched rifles with only a few rounds left. We didn't even have enough medkits to go around. Everyone was drained, physically and mentally. And I mean everyone. You could see it in their eyes. Empty, like they'd already accepted it was over. Then the news came in from the scouts. They said a massive Covenant force was heading our way, bigger than anything we'd faced so far. Their mission was simple: wipe us out. They had the numbers, the firepower, and no doubt they knew we were hanging by a thread. We were cornered. No escape routes, no evac. It was like staring death in the face, and for the first time I didn't know if we could fight our way out of it. Suddenly, whispers began to spread within the outpost. Quiet at first, just a murmur among the troops, like people were trying to convince themselves it wasn't over. Some of the guys started looking up. I wasn't sure what they were seeing, but they seemed hopeful. That didn't make sense to me, not after everything we'd been through. But then I heard it, the sound of engines cutting through the air, and dust kicked up as a ship came down near our position. And then I saw them. At first I thought it was some kind of trick. I'd heard the stories, the legends. They were supposed to be these mythical warriors, more rumor than reality. Everyone talked about them like they were ghosts, showing up just when things were at their worst and somehow turning the tide. But honestly, I never believed any of it. But there they were. The moment they stepped off that ship, it was like a jolt of electricity shot through the entire camp. Exhausted soldiers, barely able to stand a minute ago, suddenly burst to life. You could see it in their eyes. The fear, the weariness, all of it washed away in an instant. Morale skyrocketed, and for the first time in hours, maybe days, we believed we had a fighting chance. The Covenant could send everything they had. It didn't matter, because we had Spartans.